I'm Mcdaniel, and this is Curtis Lewis, and we're here to talk about Daingerfield High School football. You know, I think we're very fortunate here at Daingerfield to have a very rich tradition of high school football, and we probably are one of the top 5 schools in the state that has one of the best records of high school football, and I think we're very proud and fortunate to have that. In regards to what I'm most familiar with is the 1968 football state championship team. We had a community that was very much behind our team. As some of you may recall, that was the time period of the Lone Star Steel had a strike, and I think the community was looking for something positive to get behind, and certainly they got behind the 68 football team. And you know, I think it's that support behind a team that makes a team very competitive, makes expectations very high. And we certainly had all the makings of great support that year from the cheerleaders, pep squad, the band. We had one of the best bands in the area, and I think that coupled with the community support just really boosted our team forward. And we were in the first year of total integration with Rhodes High School. We got some very good players from Rhodes High School. The team that we'd had there at Daingerfield before the integration was strong to begin with, and then we added even better players, and so the teams that immediately preceded us, I think, really taught us what it was like to play in the playoffs and compete in the playoffs. We had 2 outstanding teams in 1966 and 67, and they kind of led us into the playoffs, deep into the playoffs, and showed us really what we needed to do and where we needed to go to be successful in the playoffs. So that leading us into the playoffs, we knew what it took to be successful, and we met up with a very good Lufkin-Dunbar team in the state championship game, and it was pouring down rain. Started raining about 5 o'clock and didn't stop throughout the game, and it was the last game of the season. The football field that we played on had a lot of games on it. The grass was worn off, so it was really a very muddy field, and which makes more for a defensive ball game, that's the way the score turned out. It turned out 7-6 with an extra point kick being the difference in the ball game. And even with all the rain that we had in that game and the muddy field, we had some packed stands there. You know, Curtis, the 50th anniversary edition of Dave Campbell's Texas High School Football nominated the 1983 team as the second most memorable team, be it pro, college, or high school, in Texas high school football history. In Texas football history. Not high school, that includes pro and college. Only the 1969 Texas Longhorn National Championship team was rated higher. The 1983 team was among the most dominant in Texas history. Can you tell us about that team?
Mark, I came back to Daingerfield in 1983, and that probably was the highlight of, it's something that I'll never forget. We only had 8 points scored on us the entire season. In fact, we didn't have anyone close to scoring on us. The closest team that came to scoring was, I remember in the playoffs game in Fort Worth, was Post, and we got a pass picked off. They ran it back down to our 20-yard line, and it was 1st and 10 on our 20, and when we got the ball back, it was 4th down and on our 45, on their 45-yard line. So,
Curtis, I was there at that game. It was one of the few games I got to go to, and I remember that play distinctly. You're exactly right. I remember when when Post intercepted that pass and started to run it back for a touchdown, the stands on the Daingerfield side all stood up aghast. They were thought, you know, they were about to be scored on, and as you said, the Daingerfield defense took over from there and just backed up Post right before the half, and they never got close again.
Also, you know, that we didn't have a weak spot on that defense. It was a lot of tremendous. After finishing the '83 season, we entered in the '84 season knowing that we had a good team, and we got all the way down to the state championship game with 15-1, and I thought that we was a lot better team than Medina Valley. It's just one of those things that looked like we just couldn't get up to play, and maybe because the game before was so tough against Vernon, but we were so, I know we was a lot better team than Medina Valley was. After finishing that season, '85 was a rebuilding year. It's supposed to be anyway, and we went back 16-0 again. So that was a very tremendous team.
You know, Curtis, the rich tradition of Daingerfield High School football has taken us deep into the playoffs many years throughout the years, and we've named a few: 68, 1983, 1985, where the state championships were won, and then we played for other state championships and got beat in the finals. And you're very familiar with the most recent ones, the last three, the three-peat as it's called, in '09, in '08, '09, '10. And what do you see are some of the highlights of those 3 years?
Well, I just thought that going into '08 season, we knew we was gonna have a good football team, but how good we didn't know. Just maybe a couple rounds in the playoff. You know, we always expected to win and win big here, but you know, being realistic about it is just maybe 2 or 3 rounds in the playoff. And as you know, as we begin to get better during the season, we just kind of take off, and we got hot. We got hot during the playoff, and we was able to put together a good run, and there was a lot of very good players on that team, but most of them were sophomores mixed with some of the juniors there, and I was able to, you know, win another state championship. And then going into the next season with you know, we knew that we was going to have a chance to win the state championship again, but to repeat 2 times in a row is tough.
It is tough.
And you know, you go through injuries and a lot of things that you go through throughout the season, and you know that. But we was able to stay healthy and put together another run, and was able to win it again. And then the third season was really tough because, you know, everybody's expecting you to put it together again, and you know that you had a group of seniors that was really good, but it took more than just that. It took a little luck and very hard work, but we was able to do it again, and we're just blessed to be able to win it 3 years in a row.
Well, that's a rarity, and there's few schools in the state that have ever done that, and so you know the rich